Today I'm building another kicker ramp, but I thought it would be a fun challenge to design it specifically for families. It needs to be good for little shredders while also fun enough for big shredders. We built another ramp kind of like this, but it was super heavy. It also had a blunt edge on the backside, which was rollable but not ideal for beginners. I did like how capable and fun that ramp was, and don't want to sacrifice that in making this one good for families. This ramp needs to be lighter and easier to move around. The transition should also continue along the top of the ramp, all the way to the back. While fun is a priority, safety is as well. I'm using relatively thin plywood not only to save weight but for flexibility. More on that later. For the beams, we'll use 2x3s also to save weight. Once everything is assembled, it should be pretty stout. These other supplies are for safety and portability. In the end, our total barely breaks $50. First, we'll draw out the sides on the plywood. The ramp will be 6 feet long and 1 foot high, with the first 4 feet taking up the launch transition. The rest will be a slope on the backside for stability, fun, and safety. By tracing the sides like so, we'll have enough leftover wood for the surface. I'm cutting these sides out with my cordless jigsaw, which is now one of my favorite tools. In theory, this is the only saw you need to build this ramp, since you could cut the beams with it. I'm using a Mitre Saw though and cutting them 27 inches each. I'm using normal drywall screws to secure the beams. If this ramp were being stored outdoors, I'd use deck screws. Now that the ramp is framed out, we're ready to attach the surface. This part is kind of tricky. Normally, it's pretty easy to bend plywood onto a ramp surface, as it's thin and flexible. The problem comes in here at the top. That's a pretty mean curve. I've known about this trick for years, but have never actually tried it. By keeping the surface wet and letting it bend slowly, I was able to conform the plywood to the ramp's shape in under an hour. Soaking it beforehand might have even been a better plan. Safe is a term I use loosely while building ramps, but it would be nice to make the bottom smooth enough for skateboard and scooter wheels. For that, I'm using a strip of steel sheet metal from the hardware store. I'll need to switch to a different blade to cut this. Finishing washers will ensure that no sharp screw heads protrude from the sheet metal. For added visibility, I'm applying this reflective tape to the front and back of the ramp. I think it does more for style points than for actual safety. It's an old trick to put casters on the side or back of a ramp, so it can be tilted and transported. I wanted something more stealth and fun to use. With a shoelace, some eye hooks, and a handle, you can flip the wheels down and tilt the ramp to roll it around. To put it back down, just lift it up and let the wheels fall away. Our ramp is finished and the surface is nice and dry. Before I demonstrate how fun this ramp is, I want to show you my new bike sent courtesy of Box Components. This is a cutting-edge BMX race bike. Unlike the bikes you've seen me ride in other videos, this is designed for going fast. It has lightweight parts, a super long chainstay, and many technologies that Box pioneered for racing. Later this fall, we'll be seeing more of this bike, but first I need to get used to how it feels. What better way to do that than to test it out on my new ramp? With a slope on both sides, you can jump it, pump it, or roll it. The metal piece plays nice with skateboard or even scooter wheels. If I test it with anything else, I'll let you know. As is the case with all the things we build here, I hope you can do a better job than I did. I left all the materials and measurements in the description, but encourage you to improvise to meet the needs of your family. If you have the space, making it 8 feet long would give you a mellower transition on the back. Using masonite on the top may also prevent splinters. If you have any tips or other ideas, put them down below and share them with the family. Make sure to tag me so I can see your ramps on Instagram. Also be sure to watch my other ramp videos in the playlist at the end. And of course, subscribe for more videos like these. As always, thanks for riding with me today, and I'll see you next time.